This section begins with a very probing question. Do you ever think about how other people see you? What you see here is a chart of the looking glass self theory that Cooley developed, one of the theories that you will be looking at in this section. However, this theory is not to be left to just how we see ourselves from a physical image. It is how we look at ourselves in every single area of life. Consider this. Suppose we had a student who signs up for a sociology class and he's really anxious to learn. He's really excited for the class. However, on the first quiz, he does not do real well. So in an effort to help, I suggest that the student meets with me in a remediation session to go over what he did wrong on the quiz. Now this, if we look at it from the manifest function, remember that term from chapter 1, the intended consequence of an aspect of society? So the manifest function of this help session is just that, to help the student gain a better understanding of the material. However, the latent function, that is the unintended consequence, the latent function of this remediation session might be for the student to perceive that my evaluation of him is that he is somehow stupid or dumb. He uses this situation as a social mirror to evaluate his own self-identity. The perceived negative evaluation creates feelings in him where the picture he sees of his identity is now one who is stupid. If he continues to feel this way, or if other situations tend to reinforce this, he might try to compensate by projecting a different kind of image. For example, maybe being the class clown, or being that cool rebellious student who gives off the air that they really don't care, when deep down inside they really do. See, the point of this is that much of our identity is shaped by socialization. Socialization is the interactions that we have with others. Now, we might even have multiple faces that we possess depending on the various groups that we interact with. So we might have one particular face that we have for when we're at home, another face that we have at school, another face that we have with our primary peer groups or friends, and maybe even another face when we are on social networking sites. So as you read this upcoming section, the main idea that you want to keep in mind is this. The theories of Locke, Cooley, and Mead explain how people are socialized and develop a sense of self. Once a sense of self exists, people change how they present it to others. So as you're reading, there are two main questions that you want to be able to answer. First, what are the theories that explain the development of self? Secondly, how does our environment affect the way we present our self-identity? So with this in mind, I recommend that you use a modification of the 3-column note-taking strategy that we have looked at before. We only need 2 columns though for this section because there really is no visual information that is provided within the section. So in your notes, make 2 columns. In the left-hand column under the heading of main ideas, that is for all of the headings, subheadings, side notes, and bold words. You want to turn them into questions. For example, the first main heading is the development of self. So how would you rewrite that as a question? You could put something down like, how is the self developed? Next, you want to look at what is red. These are your subheadings. And under the development of self, you'll see several of them. And the first one is Locke, the tabula rasa. You want to rewrite this as a question now too. So I might say, what is the tabula rasa? Also, you want to take note of any key vocabulary terms that are bold and highlighted yellow in your textbook. In this section, we have one key word that would be socialization. Again, rewrite it as a question. What is socialization? Now you want to continue this process through the rest of this section. I'll give you a hint. There are two main headings. Under the first main heading, there are three subheadings, and under the second, there are two. Now you are ready to start reading. At this point, you have properly previewed the text by noting the important questions that will help you understand the concepts of this section. This is what you have in the left column. You want to now answer the questions. That is what you will do in the right column. So as you read, simply answer the questions. And at the end, you will have a concise summary of this section, answering all of the major questions about the theories used to explain the development of self and how one's environment can affect the presentation of self.